everybody. I'm Hoardergamer, and this is Hoarder's Comic Flex. I hope you're doing well. I've got some comic book reviews. We got 2 reviews this week. If you notice a little box that's kind of above me, Season of Blood, that's coming up real soon. We'll talk about that. It's Diablo 4 among our gaming news. We're also going to toy around, as we usually do, a little bit later. And over to the side here, these are comic books that will be coming up in the near future, but I'll give more, detail on that in a moment. So first up today, we have a review of Birds of Prey number 2. I went with the variant cover. Let's see. How easy did they make it to know what the variant, who did the variant cover? Let's see here. I'm not positively sure if it's David Nakayama or Chris Bichello. Let me see. It is David Nakayama. It actually says right on the side here. But I think it's an awesome cover. It's really nice. Okay, so if you haven't read issue 1, I have. I actually reviewed it a few weeks ago, I believe. And basically the idea is it's a heist. But it's a heist of Themyscira. Sin, who is Black Canary's sister, basically is there on Themyscira, and unbeknown, I believe, to Sin and everyone on Themyscira, a creature is trying to take over her, and her being there on that island is either going to power this creature or allow it to bring the world to its end. So, with as few people knowing as possible, Black Canary created a team with Harley Quinn, Big Barda, Cassie Kane, and a mysterious swordswoman who I do not know well. And basically they have to try stealing Sin back, and hopefully, their hope is that no one will be the wiser. And there's a lot of great moments in issue 2 where Harley Quinn is trying to give suggestions and ideas of how to get on Themyscira without anyone knowing, and everyone's just kind of discounting her, oh God, Harley, what's she gonna say? What insane thing is Harley gonna say? And she even makes a Jaws reference that no one in the team gets except her. Quinn, Harley Quinn, and then Quint from Jaws. So there's a play on words there that she tries, but no one gets it except her. So that was funny. Her ultimate plan to get to Themyscira is hilarious and insane, and it causes Black Canary to swear. So that's a lot of fun. The book is, really well done. It's also very comedic, and I like it a lot. This is issue 2, and once I found out what the heist was going to be, or the big, plan for the story arc in issue 1, I was like, oh, this is really good. Is issue 2 going to be good? Is this going to be a fluke? And no, issue 2 is really good. I will say this, though, and I'm going to do some research on it. I didn't have time today. The coloring is bizarre, and I can't tell if that's on purpose. I won't lie, I'm partially colorblind, but there are points here where Black Canary looks like she's purple. And I can't tell if it's just that she is always in dark areas, but then you have this scene where they fight a group of these yellow golems, and still all the characters look incredibly dark. So I don't know if there's a color issue with the print or not. I'm not sure. The art itself is really good, and the art is really wild because it has this almost 1970s look to it, except for a flashback scene, which is Sin with Black Canary basically talking about their relationship as sisters, and Sin bringing up questions that she has on Pokemon. Because remember, Sin is really young, or at least in this flashback was really young. So Yeah, Birds of Prey, really good. I definitely recommend it. I think that the team is awesome. Like Harley Quinn, Big Barda, Black Canary, you know, pretty phenomenal right there. I'm sure there's probably going to be some other characters that show up. Wonder Woman was on a variant cover for issue 1, so I'm going to guess at some point, even though they don't want to tell her what they're trying to do. And they had a really good logical reason for that too, by the way, I should get into. The fear was this: what do they do if Wonder Woman says no? See, Black Canary is not going to be cool with her sister basically possibly bringing the end of the world. There's kind of a no, they really can't accept no in this situation. And I kind of think that I believe it's Dynalance, I believe. I kind of believe that Black Canary is also worried too. What will the other Themyscirans, the Amazons, think they should do about Sin if she, is this dangerous? So her fear could be that, like, the other Amazons will think that they have to maybe kill Sin or something like that, kill her sister. So that's where it kind of leads. As I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, like putting two and two together, I could see that's where she thinks things could be headed if, Wonder Woman were to say no. So, what I will say is the plan to get to the island includes another member of the Suicide Squad. And I'll even limit it here. It's a member of the Suicide Squad in the game coming out from Rocksteady. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So, one of those 4 members that isn't Harley, and that's the plan to get on the island. But yeah, I really recommend this book. Again, the coloring might be off. If that is the case, I doubt it is, but if it is, DC will probably do like a free reprint. So like if you picked it up at like your local comic shop, they would do a trade-in or something. It's happened here and there. It's real rare. It's usually more for like pages being out of order or something that they would do that. But yeah, it's just odd, darker coloring for the characters at some points. It's hard to explain it. It could be just part of the style, and then that's cool if it is, but I just cannot tell based on, looking at it. Okay, so that's our first review, everybody. Birds of Prey number 2. 1 second here. And here we have the updates coming in the Diablo 4 Season of Blood. Okay, so we have a new Vampire Hunter quest line that looks far more robust than the quest line we had in Season 1. 22 new vampiric powers, including a vampire bat that will actually come and bite your enemy. And this really crazy attack where you're basically like invincible and you're just tearing through enemies and stuff. It looks really cool. These are supposed to be very powerful, impactful abilities. So they definitely listen to people from Season 1 and, they want to make this season really, really good. Doom, good to see you, Doom. But they want to make this season really good and really exciting for people after what people thought of Season 1. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about right now and with D4 has to do with that. Okay, so we got the 22 vampiric powers, Blood Harvest seasonal event. Similar to Hell Tides, there will always be a corrupted area. That's not the term they use because corruption had to do with the previous season or the current season, actually. This season doesn't start till October 17th. But basically, there's always a section that's going to have tons of vampires and vampires just running amok, and then like people to save. So a big world events that you can do out in the open world. So I'm looking forward to that because I love the open world stuff. And we'll be getting to that in a moment too. There's some cool changes to that. Also, new monster types and variants. Quite a few new vampiric monsters are being brought in for this season. And the variants look awesome as well. And they're going to have some crazy powers. Now, some of these enemies are seekers. And they almost sound scary. Because they are vampiric, basically, wanderers. And if you play Diablo 4, you might know that your character is the wanderer. Okay, that's the term used multiple times. So you're talking about druids, sorcerers, necromancers, rogues, barbarians, all of that, but they're vampiric. But they're freaking vampiric. So they're supposed to be intense battles, and you can get jumped by them. And they made it sound like similar to the butcher. They'll just show up, and then you have to be like, oh wow, what do I do now? Okay, so there's that. Hero, good to see you, Hero. Quality of life. A lot of this awesome 2-hour stream they did today. You should definitely check out, by the way, the Diablo channel on YouTube, the official Diablo channel. Improved mountain navigation. So now we're going to go to my handy dandy cellular device where I actually will go into more detail on the stuff that's listed on this screen here. And you can listen to my beautiful, 1 second here. Oh my God, 1 second. My beautiful, mellifluous voice. I missaid that. Okay. Let me just shrink this down. Yeah, I technically actually won't need that if we're going by this. Cellular device. Indeed. Because what I did is I actually went and made a separate folder for Diablo 4 so I can more easily go through the insane details that are coming to the game. Hero, let's hope there's a sale because this is the time you should definitely be playing the game. Oh, by the way, one thing I need to get out of the way right away, they blew people's minds today. Okay? They basically said for Season 2, if you haven't played Diablo 4, all you have to do is finish the prologue. Which I want to say at the most is a half hour. And then you can go into the season content. So that is a huge thing right there. Anyone that runs out and gets Diablo 4 like right now to enjoy Season 2, you don't have to do a 40-hour campaign. You get to just do, and that's a massive change, by the way. That's massive. That is something that I don't think they did for a very, very long time. I honestly think with Diablo 3, you always had to do the campaign at least once. But yeah, that's a big, big change. 96 on Spider-Man 2. Well, yeah, Canada has insane game prices. They're insane. I like Trudeau very much, but Canadian game prices are crazy. They're crazy. I heard Australia prices are even worse, though. Like, I heard those are even more intense. Okay, everybody. Now, I'm going to go into the details of Diablo 4. Let's see. So, basically, the current, or the Season of Blood content and progression is going to be completely different, which is exciting. From 1 to 50, you're going to do the season journey, local events, campaign. You're going to be on world tier 1 or 2, okay? And then you're going to basically, you know, go for renown unless you already have it all, because you're going to start with all the renown unlocks that you've gotten from this first season. So that's really nice. As well as, I believe, the renown unlocks you would have had from Yeah, so it'll be a little bit more difficult going, not having those unlocks right away, everybody, if you are just getting Diablo 4 or thinking about it. But otherwise, I think it's really cool that you don't have to do the entire campaign. The campaign for me was like 40 hours, you know, and some people got through it quicker. I did a lot of side content, a lot of side missions, which are actually really well written, and far better than you're going to expect from most ARPGs. Okay, so you got the Whispers, which are these short missions that you do, and like kind of like miniature events in the open world. Also, too, some of those can be in dungeons as well. Then you've got the capstone dungeons, and you've got world bosses and legion events. Well, now when you get to World Tier 3, they are adding 2 new bosses. One is actually a version of Varshan, which is in this first season, and then a new one called Gregor, the Galvanic Saint, a lightning boss. So you want to be strong against electricity to fight that thing. Then you've got Nightmare Sigils, basically the Nightmare Dungeons, Capstone Dungeons. Once you get to Tier 4, they add in let's see. They added 3 more bosses, apparently. Yeah, so they add the Beast in the Ice. The Beast in the Ice they add. They add Duriel, the King of Maggots, who you do fight in the campaign. And it's a pretty intense battle. So fighting him again in a different, like, way, as a harder difficulty, will be intense. He will be the level 100 boss that you can fight, and you can now farm these bosses to get things that you need, which is awesome. And then there's a more difficult version of Gregor, and then Lord Zir, who's the head of the vampires. He's the big bad this upcoming season. So yeah, here alone in this season are 5 new bosses that are repeatable and challenging. And I think that's really cool. Like, that's just one of many, many changes that I'm very excited by. Next up, we have the mounts. So less likely to get stuck. That's not that big of a thing for me. I've been pretty lucky with that. But now mounts automatically jump over traversals. You no longer have to get off the horse, do the traversal, wait 10 to 15 seconds to be able to mount the horse and then continue. You don't have to do that anymore. Also, the base movement of the speed of the mount is increased by 14%, so you're moving faster and achieving full speed when using, speed boost from spur duration increased by 50%. The other part was going to be using mouse and keyboard based, so then we're getting kind of into the weeds there of a lot of detail. Okay, so when you would dismount the horse, it'd be 10 seconds. It was 10 seconds for you to get back on. So now it's only 5. Now, a forced dismount is when enemies attack you. You're surrounded by enemies, and they basically knock you off the horse. Instead of waiting 30 seconds, now it's only 15 seconds, so that's much better. And dismount combat skill. So basically, once you get on your horse, you can use your power 3 seconds after. It's no longer 10 seconds. And a lot of times when you'll get on that horse, you'll come across like enemies relatively quickly as you're moving at a fast gallop. So this is an impactful change. So that's really nice. Here we go. World events. So now the Legion event, which is a world event where all sorts of players can come together and fight against a horde of monsters. Basically now they're going to have the time between them is reduced between 30 minutes to 25 minutes. And that may not seem that huge, okay? But also now they're going to tell you in more time when that's happening. So basically you'll have 10 minutes to get to that point. So if you're finishing up like a Whisper, or you're doing something else, or you're, not able to get there immediately in 5 minutes, now you have 10 minutes. So it'll be easier to know when Legion events are happening. Now, with the World Boss, they're actually going to have a message broadcast to all players 15 minutes before the boss spawns. So very clearly, you will know a World Boss is coming, and this is huge. Instead of every 6 hours, World Bosses are now every 3.5. So they want to make it so they're somewhat rare, but they also want to have it so you have a good chance, no matter what your schedule is, to fight a World Boss if you want to. So I'm very happy with that. Then we have the endgame activities. The Nightmare Sigils rewarded from the Whisper caches will always be within 5 levels of the highest level Nightmare dungeon the player has completed. So basically better loot. Better loot, higher level loot. Not like disappointing stuff, or far less disappointing stuff. The gold you get from a Whisper cache is going to be greatly increased. That's important because sometimes you have to re-roll items, you have to enchant them, and that is not cheap. That's very expensive for each time you re-roll an item. Then you have the experience from both Whispers and the Helltide that have been increased substantially. So that should be meaningful because they've already increased the Whispers substantially, like the chests and stuff that you get. But now it sounds like even the experience of just doing a Whisper mission will be really good too. Whisper caches adhere to the item slot of the cache, which means that if it says like it's going to be chest armor, if it says it's going to be boots, that really will be what it is. So you'll be able to focus that, like, kind of target farm when you choose your reward for Whisper caches. And Helltide chests now have specific icons on the map, so you know what kind they are. So you won't have to run around and like go through very dangerous enemies just hoping to find the chest you're looking for. So now that's a lot better too. Then they have general improvements. Basically, if you're playing a hardcore character and, you know, you see me, you see these arms, you're probably expecting hardcore character from me. No, I play a non-hardcore character. I don't like the idea of a character I put 40, 50 hours into to just die. But they did come up with something cool called the Scroll of Escape. And basically it's consumed if a hardcore player disconnects while in combat, teleporting them to a safe location. So that's a really cool feature right there. And then you have now the incense that you can use. You burn incense, will grant a bonus to experience, and they will persist after you die. So even if you die, you still have that experience boost. I don't know exactly how long beyond, you know, I don't think it couldn't add just constantly. That would be crazy. Then there's going to be, let's see, 10 unlocked waypoints added to skip camping 2 in each zone. Well, that's interesting. Renown rewards now persist between seasons and new characters. That's very important. So basically, if you have your renown rewards unlocked, one season, you'll have them all the seasons. You'll start with them. That's very exciting. Nava, good to see you. How you doing, Nava? Let's see here. And let's see here. Overall, oh, this is also amazing. So, they decided to incredibly nerf the XP you get in the open world, which made basically a lot more difficult to get to level 50, get to level 70, and my god, to get to level 100, incredibly difficult because the amount of experience necessary. Good, just chilling. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. And so now, in World Tier 3 and World Tier 4, players' level will be the same as the monster level. It will not be 5 to 10 levels below what you are as a monster. So you'll be getting more experience now from killing them. And you'll be getting better gear and loot from killing them. So there is a reason now to go into the open world and not just focus on doing nightmare dungeons. They're also adding 2 additional character slots. I've only made 2 total, one in the Eternal Realm and one for Season 1. So for me, that's not a huge deal, but I know some people made a whole mess of characters. So that's really awesome for them. Oh, the Occultist has set up shop by the Tree of Whispers. So now when you go to the Tree of Whispers, basically the Occultist will be there too. You already had a stash there. You already had a blacksmith there, but now you have the Occultist as well. Let's see here. Ooh, every small town with a waypoint now has a stash in it. And the big, massive towns, like the big, giant cities, they will have multiple stashes throughout the city. So you don't have to go through the entire giant city back and forth, traipsing around as much. Miss Place, good to see you. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Let's see. We did the general improvements already. I think we have just about all of it covered. Let's see, items. Oh, yeah, there's something crazy they're doing with items. Okay, so first off, gems are no longer going to drop directly as a reward. Now players will earn a gem shard and they can build the gems that they want. So, and also that material is put into a separate place so it doesn't take up any place on your character's inventory. So that is super awesome. Okay? And then this is neat too. Once you get to tier 3 and 4, crafting materials will drop in place of normal, magic, and rare items. So basically, you can go and you can craft much better things. And honestly, basic items, normal, and even magic, once you're at tier 3 and 4, they're pretty much not used. So that's a really cool way to go about it. So it's not like just this garbage you have to sort through. And that's an issue that most ARPGs have. That's not unique to Diablo 4. Path of Exile had that issue. Just about every ARPG has that issue. So, but yeah, as exhaustive and insane as that list was, next week is going to be 2 hours of more things coming to the game. So yeah, basically, the new season starts October 17th. It's a season of blood. It's vampires. You play a vampiric version of a wanderer. Again, one of the character classes that you have has vampiric powers, but will not completely turn into a vampire. And yeah, that's just the beginning, everybody. Next week will be another 2-hour presentation. So yeah. We are done talking about Diablo. Just a little basic video game news besides that. RoboCop, Rogue City, a new demo just launched. I believe it's today. And that's awesome, except for me, because it's on Steam. Luckily, J. Kuhn Prime has said that he plans on streaming that this evening. So I will be watching that stream, whether it is live or on demand. So I do look forward to seeing that. So I think that should be really awesome, because I'm getting the RoboCop game. I'm a huge RoboCop fan. I pre-ordered the physical version from Amazon, but I might have to cancel that because now there's a digital version that's the Alex Murphy edition. I don't know. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. I'm pretty sure they'll do the same thing to me when Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Once that gets pre-orders going, they'll be like, why even worry about the collector's edition? There's this insane digital version. Only on the PlayStation Network, or, I don't know, something like that. Also, as you might know, Venom is freaking huge in Spider-Man 2. It's hard for me to say exactly how big he is. I want to say he's like 12 to 18 feet tall. He's gigantic. He holds, he can hold like Spider-Man by his foot, and it's like nothing. It's crazy how big Venom is going to be. Okay, so as I said last week, that's going to be a hell of a fight. Okay, but now a new trailer came out during the football game on Monday, and it said, and basically it shows how both Peter and Miles have fought against tragedy to become Spider-Man. And the coolest part of that trailer is that in unison, both Peter and Miles say, "I am Spider-Man." Basically washing away any doubt as to which of them is Spider-Man. They both are. And that awesome, exciting game comes out on October 20th, also the same day as a number of other games. But for me, most importantly, besides Spider-Man, Super Mario Wonder, which I think will be another Game of the Year nominee. So on that day, I'm pretty sure we're going to have at least 2 Game of the Year nominees, Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Wonder. Oh, and Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out on Thursday. Sadat the Gamer and J-Shock Blast are definitely going to be covering that, so definitely check them out. Sadat had early access today, and I believe Jay did as well. So that was cool. I was able to, I didn't have a big opening on my schedule today, so I was able to watch a little bit of Sadat, so that was really neat. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is basically going back to the beginning of more like what Assassin's Creed 1 was like, but with much better parkour and control, and like all the like, you know, elements of current gen. Also a tighter game, a game that's going to be more like 30 to 40 hours max than 100 hours. So, and I'm a big fan of that franchise. I very much like Assassin's Creed as a franchise. They send you a code for PS5? Really? For RoboCop? For RoboCop or Assassin's Creed? That's awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. I'll be watching some of that then. Misplaced streams on Twitch. Also a member of Doom Squad Gaming. So definitely check out that Assassin's Creed. I'm hoping I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm hoping you are actually planning on streaming. What have I done? What have I done? Oh, and on Live Space as well. And on Live Space as well. Okay. Everybody, that was exhaustive. That's like some of the most game news we've had in a long time. Now it's time for us to toy around. First up, we have... Oh, that's me. Not trying to move me. Now, you are dirt years old. Like crazy old if you know who this is. This is Crystar, and he's getting a Marvel Legends action figure. Okay? He's available for pre-order now, and I cannot believe that they're doing Crystar again. God, I want to say it was 84 or 85. It was many years ago that Crystar had toys, and I believe it was always a Marvel property. But it was kind of like, I think, their answer to He-Man. Almost all the characters are made of like precious gems, is the idea. And look at that. Crystar with a see-through sword and shield, and see-through body, of course, because he's Crystar. But it's part of the brand new Build-A-Figure wave for Marvel Legends. And there's a lot of really cool figures in that series. But, like, to me, this is insane and absurd that Crystar is getting another action figure. So that had to be my focus right here. Like, if you told me that Crystar was going to get a nice 6-inch affordable action figure with far more detail and size than the original figure, because the original figures were like G.I. Joe size. They were kind of thin and small, like a G.I. Joe figure. Now 6-inch craziness. Look at this complete absurdity, everybody. The price is absurd too. I'm waiting for it. $275. He's available till next Friday. Beastman. Probably the best Beastman figure, if you're a He-Man fan, that you could have in your collection. He's 13 freaking inches tall. That's one of the reasons he's so expensive. He's got some sort of fur on his chest. I don't know what it actually is, the material. They didn't have that info. Multiple heads. A ham hock, I want to say. Let's see. The Holy Grail. It's not the Holy Grail. I'm not sure what that is exactly in He-Man lore. A gun. Multiple hands. A whip. A sword. It's like, my God, look at that thing. Oh yeah, it could very well be a turkey leg. But yeah, look at this insanity. But yeah, $275. To give you an idea, that's $50 to $75 more than the He-Man, the Skeletor, and the other 12-inch figures. So I think it's because of the overall width and all the, material used to make this guy and all the detail. But man, those multiple faces, I had to show this. And no, I'm not getting this. I do like Masters of the Universe. Beastman's not one of my favorite characters. Also, I can't really spend $275 on Beastman. But I had to show this, When we toy around, it's going to be things that I think are just awesome, not necessarily things that, I want to get for my collection. Doom, I'm sorry. 6 is cool, but what about the 19 inches of Venom? See, I read that so quickly, I thought Misplaced wrote that. And I'm sorry. I chuckled. I saw it and I thought it was amusing. All the extra pieces, but at least it is the money worth. Well, yes. Yeah, so I mean, the detail, the amount of extras here, that's definitely what you're paying for. Also the fact that it's 13 freaking inches tall. Like, this is definitely a collector's figure. You aren't walking into Target or Walmart or Walgreens. Believe it or not, Walgreens has exclusive toys here and there. And seeing this Beastman for $275. You're not walking into Toys R Us, which will be opening again, apparently, 24 stores. That blew my mind, too. You aren't going to see this there either. So, Mondo.com, I believe it is. Mondo. Okay, let me remove this. Next up, something far more affordable and awesome. And yes, Hoarder's probably going to pre-order this. Mandalorian, but not the way you're used to seeing him. Okay? Take a look at the great detail here. And then I'll have a picture to show him off a little better as to what you get with this for $34.99. The Holocom Collection. They are doing Ahsoka Tano. They are doing Mando. And they might be doing some other characters as well. But yeah, this goes live tomorrow. Hasbro Pulse is going to have this. Wait till you see the other picture. Wait till you see this insanity. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. So, like from the Star Wars universe, it's like one of those devices some characters will have in their hand where they're talking to a hologram. They've created that at an affordable price point. So 6-inch figure of Mando. As you can see, he's see-through and the light partially gets him to kind of like glow and or light up. He's got the little panel that's supposed to be like the floating words and or dialogue that's always there with the hologram. I think it looks awesome. I think it's really cool. One of the pictures freaking shows him with the helmet off. I couldn't find any more of that picture, so I'm trying to find out if that's the case, but I really quite like this, and again, that price point to me is very reasonable. Basically, once you charge it, it's a 30-minute light show, they call it. So the way you're seeing it now, the light's gonna get brighter and dimmer, so different parts of the figure will illuminate. I really like that. Also, the fact that just basic 6-inch Star Wars figures are like $24.99 now. So $35 with this light device, and super cool. Super cool. Yeah, as far as I know, that's a 6-inch. I don't think that's the 4-inch figure. I could be wrong about that, actually. Now that I think about that pricing, I kind of question it. Regardless, I think this is awesome. Okay, everybody. We've had our first review. We covered games. We exhaustively covered changes to Diablo 4, as well as elements of the new Season of Blood coming October 17th. Next up, we're going to look at the future of comics. The future of comics all the way to 1 week from today. Okay, so first up we have Patrick Bateman, American Freaking Psycho from Massive Comics. It's a retelling of the movie involving another serial killer, apparently, a lady doing her thing in the background of everything that Patrick Bateman was doing. I was like, that's insane. That's insane. And look at the Christian Bale cover. And yeah, one issue I do see, though, with this getting this comic book issue. See what I did there? Issue. Basically is that Massive is not one of the largest companies. So I don't know if every shop is going to have extras unless they just have it for like people who already ordered it for previews. So it might be a little hard to get it, you know? But yeah, I definitely had to show that. And that cover is awesome. So, American Psycho. Next up, who likes cosmic horror? Who likes body horror? Who likes terrifying Lovecraftian stuff? Batman City of Madness weaves all that together with the freaking Court of Owls by Christian Ward. I'm very much looking forward to this. Almost a definite I'll review this for next week. It's one of the Black Label books, so it's probably going to have like this more square shape. It's not going to fit like in your comic book board and cover of your normal ones for regular comics. Ooh, but it looks amazing. And the artwork, I've seen some of it, is gorgeous, as you can see the cover right there. Batman City of Madness, and what a great choice for October, right? What a great choice, like, you know, for the Halloween spirit. Batman City of Madness. You'll go mad if you miss it. Next up, Wesley Dodds' Sandman. So basically, DC is now doing a new Golden Age series, like Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Jay Garrick, The Flash, and this one I'm most excited about, Wesley Dodds' Sandman. So the Golden Age version of him had him like with a gas gun and basically going out and like stopping criminals and things like that. And Neil Gaiman was like, I'm going to take that and go nuts. And he came up with his version of Sandman. But yeah, this is the original Sandman, Wesley Dodds. And I believe it's a 6-issue series, and I'm very excited. I'm probably going to pick it up. Well, no, I'm definitely going to pick it up. I don't know for sure I'll review it, though. I don't know how many pages City of Madness Batman is, so I don't know if I'll be able to review both. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to this, and I'd like to definitely tell people about the other Sandman, Wesley Dodds. Okay. That name again is Wesley Dodds. Okay. So, okay, everybody. Next up, we have a freaking event comic book. Like a big freaking event. Superior Spider-Man Returns by Dan Slott. Spider-Man, Doc Ock. Pretty much no details. Superior Spider-Man returning. So that alone should excite everybody. So, like, I don't know how much more I would have to say than Superior Spider-Man is coming back. Okay, everybody. Now, we're almost done with the show. Not quite, almost. This one's running a little longer than usual, but that's because we had so much game news to talk about. So much game. Okay, our next... Oh, I don't know what I was about to do there. But our next review and our final, like, element of this episode is right here. G.O.D.S #1 by Marvel Comics. Okay? And I was like, wow, it's beautiful paper, really nice and glossy and everything. It's also like possibly 60 pages. It's huge, but the price is also relatively huge, $9.99. $9.99. But again, if you're looking at, was it $3.99 I think now for a regular comic book, it makes sense, because this is over 48 pages. Like I said, it's probably about 60. And it's really high-quality paper, especially, like, for Marvel. I sometimes joke around that the covers seem like they're made of vellum. Or like, tissue paper. No, not this one. Not this one. This is high-quality stock right here. Okay. So G.O.D.S #1 is excellent. And it's Jonathan Hickman, one of my favorite comic book writers. He did House of X, Powers of X. He's done Avengers. He is really great at setting up, like, entire story arcs and worlds. His new project is the Ultimates for next year. And Ultimate Invasion, I believe was the title, was a mini-series that he had this year. It might still be going on, or it just ended. And that's going to lead into Ultimates next year. So, if you're a fan of John Constantine, I highly recommend G.O.D.S, because the main character, Wynn, comes off a lot like John Constantine, and Dimitri, who's his helper assistant, who uses some bizarre electronic archaic device that it has, like, all bits of knowledge on it, is hilarious, and constantly, like, waxing nostalgic for, like, paragraphs, as, like, Wynn is just standing there just, like, dumbfounded and embarrassed. Basically, they're trying to stop the end of the world, and Stephen Strange is involved. But just as the solicit said for this book, that's one of the least exciting and interesting parts of it. The relationship between Wynn and his girlfriend is basically possibly the impetus for what could be a massive war between... God, how did they phrase this? There's crazy phrasing of who and what Wynn is. And it's really, like, a complicated thing, like, not something like you're going to be like, oh, it's just this. So, the natural order of things and the avatar of the powers that be. Yeah, that's not heady at all. But yeah, basically, Win and his girlfriend are on opposite sides of two almost like celestial, godlike entity type things that are kind of at war, or as Win says, they have a detente going on. And it's really this wild thing where Win ends up like going and finding a penny, but apparently it's an insane penny with John Wilkes Booth picture on it because it's from an Earth that never existed. And he goes and he trades that to the collector. And then they have all this like trading between all these crazy parties, and it all ends up with like, well, saving the world. I don't want to ruin it for you, everybody. It's really good. It's intense. I'm looking forward to God's number 2. I had no idea what to expect because I didn't know anything really about Winner Dimitri before. So, yeah, God's number 2. It was really good. The sense of humor. Like, I love Jonathan Hickman, but I'm not used to laughing that much at a Jonathan Hickman book. Like, it's really funny. Okay, everybody. That is our final review. I want to thank you very much for joining me on this journey this week. This epic, this odyssey. For whatever reason, if you want to hear me be like long-winded and play video games, you can check out twitch.tv/Hoardergamer. Right now, I'm doing a lot of Cyberpunk and Spider-Man 2018. Very much looking forward to Spider-Man 2. I'll be covering that in detail. Diablo 4, of course. And a lot of that's going to be happening soon with Diablo 4. Yeah. That's probably the best place to find me. Also like Twitter under Hoardergamer. I want to thank Doomkiller HD and Doom Squad Gaming for letting me borrow your channel. Thank you very much. And I hope you all have a phenomenal week. If you like the show, tell other people. You know, I'm going to make the show. It's going to be here. It'll be even better when people are watching. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope you have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.